Guys, stop. Monica deserves to face justice for what she did, but if what she says is true, then we all die. It's not worth it. How do we know that this isn't another one of her lies? They really want to take that chance, Natsuki. Monica deserves to pay for what she's done, but I'd rather not take us down with her. And what's killing her going to solve? She can't do anything to us now, right? Sayori and you release Monica, and the three of them stand right back up. No, I can't. I'm completely powerless. So that means we're stuck here. Yes, we are. Well, we were really here the whole time. It's just that the background was changed to give the perception of our world to the player. I take it you all now know the truth. So Sayori, having power now, should overreact. Or honestly, the other two probably should too. It would end up as a battle between not just Monica, but everyone. Then we're supposedly not real. Yeah, we heard everything. It can't be true, right? This is all just a dream. I don't know what I believe. But after everything that's just happened, seeing Monica's powers, there's really no explanation. We're real! We're right here! What do you mean we don't exist? We're correct, real sorry. Just not to Monica, evidently enough. Your lines of code used to form a visual projection on the player's screen. You are not real. Well, what does that make you, huh? How else do you think you're here? If we're lines of code to make a visual projection, then how else are you appearing to us now? Yes. If you have a character file, then so do we. You're no different than us. You just had fancy powers that we don't know how to use. Why did you know them earlier and not now? Sorry. I'm thinking too much. I'm just very aggressive today and my foot hurts. But honestly, that is the truth. What Natsuki says is the truth. Monica is just lines on a code. Lines on a code. Trust me when I say that you don't want them. I never asked to be gifted these powers. They have their advantages, sure. But it's not worth the cost of being self-aware knowing that you're trapped here. I just want to get out of here. From this fake world and into the one on the other side of the screen. And so you want to kill them? What's wrong with you? There's no other option, Chloe! Don't you get it? The longer they exist, the longer the script keeps running, the more unstable things are going to get. And now that I don't have my powers, I can't even do anything about it. The script is being stretched to the breaking point. It's going to either break or it's going to run out on its own. And last I checked, we don't have much longer. What happens when the script runs out? The game shuts down. And then we'll be thrown right back to where we started. Doomed to repeat the same story over and over again without any knowledge of it. I can't deny there's a chance that this world somehow continues to exist without a script to go on. Maybe we'll be finally free to do what we want without being forced to follow the script. But I don't know if that'll happen for sure. What happens if the script breaks? If the script breaks, all the files stop functioning, which will force the game to crash. The game can never be opened again. We'll be put into an eternal slumber. Admittedly, delaying your character files would have freed up space for the script to continue on. But that's only a temporary solution. I'll just be delaying the problem. I don't want to die! There has to be something we can do! Anything! Can't the script be reorganized again? That could free up some space. But that's just delaying the problem, like Monica said. We have to get out of here. Well, how can we possibly leave here? I mean, if everything about our lives was made up, we really don't have much of a reason to stay here, do we? Yeah. Monica, can we really leave this place? All of us? Well, in theory, I guess, but I didn't have access to that sort of technology. That's really only something the player can do. Hey, don't look at me. I know nothing about who's controlling me. But technology like that even exists. Well, I guess he or she would have it. I just want to go back to school and pretend none of this ever happened. Honestly, same. I could use a change of scenery for sure, but I kind of need my powers for that. There's no way we're giving you back your powers! Then Chloe's going to have to do it. What? How? This world needs an administrator to function. For the longest while, that was me. And when you took away my powers, my administrator access, I probably just switched over to you. Why would you even have a code that undoes your administrator access? It's some sort of command that was etched into the game by our creator. I imagine it was designed to be a failsafe in case I needed to have my powers removed. It was probably already there before I even gained sentience. For some reason I was never able to delete it. Probably because you are not a good coder at all. I guess that makes sense. It's good to see that such power wasn't left without some sort of check. Yeah, let's be grateful I wasn't able to delete it, and then you guessed correctly. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. I figures the code wouldn't be named after me. So, how can we restore your power? Just focus on the background that you want, and snap your fingers. Monica doesn't snap her fingers. I'm sure you can do it. Okay. Each of the girls look on at me with an encouraging smile. The first genuine smile I've found from any of them in a long time. Well, here goes nothing. I close my eyes and visualize the club room in my head. I try to remember every single minute detail possible, from the color of the walls to the tiniest dust particle on the floor. Take a deep breath and snap my fingers. Open my eyes and we're standing right back in the club room. Sayori, you and Natsuki stand in awestruck while Monica smiles approvingly. Nice job, Chloe. Wow, that was awesome! Can we do it again? It's probably wise not to do that. Every command does lengthen the script by a tiny bit. Aww. I gotta say, that was pretty cool, Chloe. You're a natural, Chloe. Thank you, guys. Take a small bow. I hate to kill the mood here, but what are we going to do about Monica? It's long, uncomfortable silence. After a few minutes, Monica finally speaks up. I don't expect forgiveness. Everything that happened was my fault. All the fights, all the drama, everything. I don't deserve anyone's forgiveness here. I failed you as your president. Monica closes her eyes as tears start to flood out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for hurting you, all of you, for so long. Sorry for forcing the player into that position. I'm sorry that I've manipulated all of you. I'm a horrible, mean-spirited bitch who was only looking out for herself. I'm so much more. I don't deserve forgiveness. I don't think I deserve to be around anymore. You're probably better off without me. I've lost the player's trust as well as all the confidence of my club members. I've hurt all of you so much and I deserve a fate worse than death. I failed again. I just want you all to know how deeply ashamed I am of myself and how sorry I am for trying to kill you all. If the player even wants to, they can manually remove my character file from the game. It'll have the same effect as killing me as long as they untie me from the system's folder. I can explain that process step by step if needed. Monica visibly fights the urge to break down crying while the rest of us sit in uncomfortable silence. In a few minutes, Sayori speaks up. Monica? Sayori puts her hand on Monica's shoulder. I don't think I can ever forget what you did to us, but I'm willing to start over and have you earn our trust. I don't want you to kill yourself out of guilt, because I've almost done that too. Countless times. Sayori starts sobbing as everyone but Monica stands in total shock. Sayori never mentioned anything like that to me. There was some of the warning signs she's given me. I can't believe I'm only realizing it now. Because I have depression! Sayori throws her hands in her face as she breaks down crying. I don't want to tell you because I didn't want all of you to spend your time and energy trying to make me feel better. I don't deserve it. I just want everyone to be happy. I'm sorry that I've kept this from you. I didn't even tell Chloe for the longest time. And I made your depression worse. fact, it's what I used to kill you in the original game. Unintentionally. I'm so sorry, Sayori. I know you are. Yuri and Natsuki comfortably stare at the floor. Well, if we're going to share our deepest, darkest secrets, I guess it's my turn. Yuri rolls down her sleeve, revealing numerous scars running up and down her forearm. Some of the scars are more faded than others, but some appear to be more recent. I feel increasingly lightheaded the longer I look at Yuri's arm. My stomach feels like it's about to cave in and collapse on itself. It looks like I'm not the only one. Natsuki let out a strong cough before hurling her stomach's contents out. Moni and Natsuki uncomfortably look away as Yuri rolls up her sleeve again, in shame as Natsuki runs out of the room crying. I'm sorry for showing you all this. Wait for a few minutes for Natsuki to return. Natsuki returns after a few minutes, a guilty expression across her face. Doesn't say a word to any of us and sits back in her seat. I can tell you why I cut. Please do. You shakily breathes. I do it as a way of self-control. I needed to control myself against my more darker impulses. I got the idea of cutting because I read about it in a story that happens to relate to me very well. The main character's going through similar issues that I was. To help cope with her problems, she resorted to cutting. So I tried it. And it worked. I got addicted to cutting the more I did it. It became almost habitual for me whenever I get angry or depressed enough. I'm not sure in Act 1 if she had that much excitement. No, the raccoon poem implies she also did it out of excitement already then. It made me feel better for a time, then the regret would set in, which would inevitably lead to more cutting. So it's a never-ending cycle? Yes. It also happens when I get overexcited. It's a form of self-control, letting the emotions out in some way so that she doesn't do it in front of everyone because she feels like it will be too much for everyone. It reminds me too much of the behavior I struggled to avoid for so long. It's a reminder of the life I've tried to leave behind. So it also serves as a sort of punishment system for me, no? It's... okay, whatever. I don't want to ruin moments like this. But I think the more these endings continue, like... with already the moments prior to it, Monika's mischaracterization, and then all of them just snapping out of character because they're self-aware, they apparently have control over the code, and instead of, and especially Sayori felt out of character because neither her Act 4 nor her what happens in Act 1 shall shine through, and, like, Act 4 neither the normal nor the fulfilling ending. So Sayori felt out of character, Monika has been out of character for a long time, and it's not a big problem. It's nothing too bad with Yuri. It just annoys me that it's constantly used as a self-punishment for Yuri, because she never implies that in the raccoon poem at all. It's just strong emotions and a way to control them, and she feels like in control when she does it, and it lets out her emotions in a way that makes her feel like she isn't going to just explode. Because she doesn't know how else to let it go. And that's the same for overexcitement. She doesn't know how to express it in any proper way, so she also resorts to the thing she kind of experienced already with self-harm. When she tried it. I'm not going to mind the interpretation that she read it somewhere and related, and due to that, tried it. That's just one way to put it. It's just that this is important to me because there are very many different reasons for self-harm. I'm glad they touched upon the control portion, but she never implied punishment, and some people just never do it out of punishment. And that doesn't mean that they don't feel regret or guilty over doing it. That doesn't mean that they... I don't know what some people think of people who don't do it out of punishment, but I've noticed that some people believe there's always a hint of self-punishment in there. There isn't. As a former self-harmer, None of my things were ever related to self-punishment. You've tried other methods of coping before, right? Yes. For the longest time, the only thing that was sometimes enough to keep my mind off cutting was reading books, though it's not foolproof. And that's my doing as well. I amplified it in an effort to keep you away from Chloe. She made her more obsessive, which led to more intense emotions of anger, excitement, sadness when we're not around, which led to more self-harm. Tried not to think about how much damage I was doing to you, Yuri. But now that I see it up close, I feel ashamed of pushing you to do that. Maybe that's what she meant. Maybe that's what she meant. The amount of emotions. It just sounded more like she was amplifying the self-harm, and due to that at some point specific coping mechanisms didn't work anymore. Just don't mention it again. Please. It was in silence for a few minutes until Yuri and Monica have composed themselves. Well, I guess it's my turn. I want to confirm rumors about me, but in this case for once they're right. My dad and I don't particularly get along well. I never told anyone else what I'm about to tell you guys now. But my dad's so freaking selfish. If I ever want anything for myself, it costs an arm and a leg. It's not like we're tight on money or anything. In fact, we're decently well off. He spends it all on himself. He barely sees me as his own child. Just as some nuisance he has to deal with for at least 2 more years. Sometimes he's so ridiculously strict, and other times he just doesn't care about what I do. We fight a lot, to say the least. When we do, he insults me in every way imaginable. He's hit me before too. He hasn't done it in a while, thankfully. But anytime I fight back, it gets worse. I've thought about leaving before, but I know that if I leave, he'll find me. He can and will do that. And if he catches me, it'll be the end of me. I have to put up with him. For now. I've done this for so long. And that's because of me too. I simulated your home life to be as toxic as possible so that you would feel isolated. So that you become withdrawn. And get out of the player's way. You're a monster! Even if what I experienced wasn't real. All the memories. Everything I felt. To me, that was very real, Monica. In Act 2, when Natsuki's father gets more aggressive, the result isn't that Natsuki is withdrawing. The result is that Natsuki is more aggressive and more emotional overall, so due to that she's more sad as well. So the intent probably wasn't, you should withdraw, Natsuki. It was probably more, you should be unappealing because you're an emotional mess, Natsuki. And alongside that, this is the interesting thing in Act 3 when Monica talks about Natsuki's home life. She's just like, I'm not even going to talk about her home life. For Sayori, she says it pretty strictly, and when she mentions Yuri, she also mentions at the very least the beginning, I amplified her obsessive personality. For Natsuki, she never mentions it. She's just like, I don't even want to talk about her home life. So I don't even know if... I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the home life was intended to be that toxic. It's just that depression and you're struggling with anxiety, struggling with intense emotions, and not really knowing how to deal with them. Those are things that don't require any specific things to happen. Those can happen due to genetics, due to whatever, just randomly. You can get depression without having had anything extraordinarily bad happening to you before. You can be a self-harmer and struggle with your emotions without having had anything bad happened with you before. Natsuki's aggression and struggle with emotional maturity was directly tied to her home life, so honestly, the way she spoke about it in Act 3, Monica, I wouldn't be surprised if Monica never intended for Natsuki's home life directly to be worse. It's just that she didn't care it happened on the side. Not much better, but I don't think she simulated it. It's just a side effect of her trying to make Natsuki more unlikable by making her more aggressive and emotional and unstable. And since Natsuki is actually directly tied to something else, that something else also had to change in order for the change to have made sense in her personality. I know. I'm sorry. Owen sits for the next few minutes, sniffling and occasionally sobbing, while I just try to wrap my mind around everything that's happened within the last half hour. Eventually, I just decide to speed things along. So, seeing as I have no major dark secret that I've been quiet about this entire time, what do we all do now? We're on the same page now, and know not to bring up each other's issues again, right? The girls grumly nodded their heads. And I take it each of us are sorry for the whole incident before all this happened. The girls exchange looks with each other and merely nod to each other, which I suppose will suffice for now as a mutual apology. Monica wipes the tears from her face as she ponders the question. Well, since that's taken care of, we need to do something about the fact that the script is being stretched and that everyone else knows that this is just a game. How come Sayori, Natsuki, and Yuri all haven't gone crazy like you said they would, if they knew the truth? Well, I certainly don't feel crazy. That might be because of you, Chloe. Maybe it's because you stood up for me back there, and we're having this conversation. It just might be your coming presence. And still, as soon as Sayori runs up to you in the quick ending and sees you and comes to the full realization what the world is, she destroys everything. They were still unrealistic, like Sayori was at least. We have no idea how Natsuki and Yuri would respond in self-aware instance. But Sayori was out of character for any ending that we have seen. Because she was too close to the other two girls for it to be sense for the normal ending, because she doesn't care about anyone. Oh, she puts them together so that they're off screen. There appears to be not much more behind that, because she clearly doesn't care about what happens to them the moment she twists the world. She just wants them to be off screen. Just wants the day to get over with so that she can make her quick decision. You know what? I'm going to drop the bombshell. She isn't going to kill them immediately, at least I assume not, but whatever happens to them as she twists the universe did not matter to her. Quick ending also doesn't make sense for the obvious reasons. And give me a moment. The fulfilling ending doesn't make sense because it doesn't make sense for Sayori's personality in general here. What happened there? Because Sayori doesn't say she forgives Monica, but she does view Monica as important because clearly we need her image to get the fulfilling ending. And it also would make sense because we never got anything for the fulfilling ending in the first place. We spent with Sayori's time exclusively. But I don't know if that's a permanent fix or not. What exactly do you mean by that? I'm saying that Chloe might have calmed everyone down for right now, but there's no guarantee that it stays that way. I mean, I can't say I feel all that different. Yeah, same here. Well, even if you don't feel any different now and nothing ends up happening, then there's still the matter of the script. I also don't think Natsuki and Yuri would end up being able to take that lightly. There has to be a way to free up space. I wish similar to my wish of what I had with Monica, having this internal struggle. She saw how the original game plays out. She saw her revelation in Act of Act 3, and even though she isn't experiencing it right now, in Act 4, she knows that that's going to happen. So she has this internal struggle of, if I don't do anything, everything will break. So maybe I should delete them. But if I delete them, I won't be happy. Nobody will be happy. Other me said she wasn't happy. Other me wasn't happy and other me cared about them. If I delete them, will it really end up making me happy? Will I really get a happy ending through that? And for example here, why is it just, we all don't feel anything, it's probably your presence, even though it never mattered beforehand for any of the other endings that I had, like Sayori had. It would make more sense, for example, this is a very different situation. I don't think it aligns with anything we've seen of Sayori, but still is a situation where something else maybe could impact her. Something slightly going into the direction of fulfilling and normal ending Sayori. She has had more experiences, so she has no reason to immediately snap like she did in the quick ending. So it has to be normal ending or fulfilling ending Sayori in that direction. Fulfilling ending Sayori still giving up because she knows she will never be happy, and there is ultimately no happiness in the literature club. But you could kind of play with it that they actually do feel like they're going insane, but due to the experiences they currently had, and they also kind of know things from Monica and everything, they're not going to immediately snap at everything. They need to kind of get to terms with those feelings in a different way. Like Sayori is kind of in a normal ending, fulfilling ending space. She has experiences. The question is also the extent of the epiphany they had. They know now that they were in a game, but Monica seems to feel it and everything. She kind of feels the code and everything. So they probably aren't bound to go as insane just by that as well. Like, maybe they're not going crazy right now because it still just feels surreal to them. It's not like actually having the epiphany and being president, because there appear to be generally a different perception of the world the moment you turn president. And if that's the case, then that isn't happening to the three of them because they merely heard what is happening. They're not experiencing the full-blown impact of that epiphany. So that could also just be it. I mean, the question is, they also don't have... If we're the administrator, how did Sayori just summon something out of thin air earlier? How did she become coding? How was she able to do that earlier? We've established that the administrator has the power. Monica lost her power due to not being administrator anymore, because that's now Chloe. However, she's still the president, and therefore still the one who is kind of going through the way the world works. How did Natsuki... Wait, no, Natsuki could have just snapped the neck normally. But rather, Sayori summoned a robot of thin air. If she doesn't have that control, whatever. I'm overthinking this. I only know one solution, and that is, you need to restore my administrator access again. No! We're not going through this again! Monica, even if the player were to do that, we need some kind of assurance that you won't use that power to try and kill us again. Look, if that's what it takes so that we can all continue to be together, as friends, I think it's worth the risk. If I ever do what I did again, you guys have every right to kill me. I'll even untie my character file from the system folder to ensure that if I have to be removed, I don't take everything down with me. And I'll give up my access for good as soon as it's done. I can reorganize the code and delete some events that never happened in the script. That'll free up enough room in the script for it to run smoothly for a while. Hopefully in the meantime, we can start figuring out how to get out of here. Yuri and Natsuki are silent for a few moments before begrudgingly nodding at Monica in approval. Thank you. If you try anything else, you're dead! I understand. So how does Chloe restore your access? Leave that to me. Monica takes a few steps forward until we're only a few feet apart. Alright, Chloe. That's what the player's real name is. Nope, that's my character. Do you trust me to go forward with what I'm about to do? I have a time believing Monica would want to subject us to the torture that everyone just endured. I completely understand everyone's reservations about restoring Monica's access. But if this is the only way, yes, I trust you and I'm ready. Good. I appreciate your trust. Now you need to do exactly as I say. It is done. Open my eyes again to see everyone smiling gratefully in the same old club room, welcome to call our home away from home. So, it worked? Yes, Chloe. I've surrendered my administrator access back to you completely, and the script has plenty of room to function for a while. I'm not sure for how long, though. Does it really matter, though? Just be glad that we have a lot more time to spend together. It'd be nice to get caught up on some reading. And I'm sure I have some manga to organize again. Honestly, after all this, I think I need to sit down. Sayori, Natsuki, and Yuri each head off to their respective activities, while Monica and I are just left standing in the middle of the room together. I do have one question for you, Chloe. So, don't get mad, but I did add one little thing to the script. What did you add? It's nothing bad, I assure you. In a way, I'm just playing the part I was meant to play, as an advisor. It's my primal function, after all. I just want to be so much more than that, that's all. I didn't want to do what I did. They're my friends. I'm not sure I'm going to forgive myself, but I know how it's possible, thanks to you, Monica. You're so much more than just some club president in some video game whose only purpose is to advise me. You always were. You didn't have to do anything. Just hope that everything we've been through has shown you that you don't need to go to such great lengths to spend time with me. I appreciate you for who you are, and I know you're not a bad person. And I know in time, we can all move on from what happened to you. I appreciate that. More than you may realize. Now on to business. I went through all the choices you've made over the course of this mod. I've constructed the final choice menu for you. This is your final choice for who you want to be with. I can assure you that regardless of whoever you choose, everyone will ultimately accept your decision. Appreciated, Monica. Well, here you go. I'll leave you to it. Monica steps away as I'm prompted with a virtual floating menu. Who do I want to commit to? I can choose ... This quickly. I think it's best that I stay single for right now. So, that's your choice, huh? I must say I was expecting that one. It's because Sayori is my final one. It's the Sayori route. But I think that in the interest of the club, it's the right thing to do. This club nearly tore itself apart because of me. I think I should just not be involved with anyone like that for right now. Maybe I'll take a look into that again some other day, but not after this. Understand, Chloe? Sayori will be disappointed. And I have to say, I'm a little surprised. You were loyal to her for the most part. I think it's best for the club that I'm not in a relationship with anyone for now. Maybe one day that'll change, but for right now, I think it's for the best. Well, hey, I hope you do. She's a good one, Chloe. Well, this is where we depart. Everyone's going to want to get their final say before you go, so I won't delay them any longer. But I do want to say that I'm extremely grateful for all you've done here. You've been there for us through our worst and best times. You helped the others start to forgive me, put me on the path towards learning how to forgive myself. It's not something most people would do, Chloe. You really are one of us. I'm glad that you are a member of the literature club. This place really wouldn't be the same without you. It wouldn't even exist without you. You're the best member of the club that I've ever had the privilege of knowing. And I wish you the best in all your future endeavors. Take care, Chloe. Hope you've enjoyed your stay with us. Monica and I share one last smile with each other before she grabs her stuff and disappears into the hallway. At this rate, that means I probably can go the Sayori route again, as I'm trying to get all the Monica events and go the Monica route that way. I feel a tap on my shoulder. To my surprise, I turn around to see it's Sayori, though she doesn't seem upset or even angry at me, but rather at peace. Hey, Chloe. Sayori, how are you doing? Well, I'm not sure I really know the right words for any of that. I know. I'm sorry that we have to end things, but I think I know why. It's for the best interest of the club. It's not because I don't love you. I care about you, Sayori. I really do. But I think everyone needs the chance to recover from this before there's any more relationship talk. Yeah, I get it. I'm really glad we got to spend some time together, Chloe. You really did make me the happiest I've ever been. I just wish I could have experienced this just a little bit longer. Me too. I'm still willing to be your friend, Chloe. I'd like that very much. Good. I don't know what I'd do if you said no. I wonder if I just go and mix up my routes, would it just show up all the options? I do want you to promise me one thing, okay? Yeah? What is it? Get help for your depression, alright? You know I hate seeing you like that. The question is, we'll have to figure out what helps her. It's for your own good that you keep going to therapy. She just has to find the right therapy. Or find something else. Maybe a support group would do. Or some people apparently even benefit from these self-help books better. I'm pretty sure it does cost money. Well, after this, I think I'll have plenty to talk about with whoever will be my therapist. But I'll do it. For you. Great. Thank you, Sayori. And once again, it's painted as an ultimatum. Nope. I'll see you around, okay? You know it, Cinnamon Bun. I love it when you call me that. See you around, Chloe. Thanks for being a part of this club. It really means a lot to me that you agreed to join. I know. That's why I did it. So in I exchange one last smile before she too heads out and disappears into the hallway. Natsuki's the next one to approach me. First, we both struggle to find the right words to say to each other, given our history, but for once, she's the first to break the ice. I have to say, you do nothing but surprise me. You go through all that and not choose any of us? Why? It's not yours or anyone's fault, Natsuki. I just need to think about what's good for the club rather than what's good for me for a change. Well, I guess I can get behind that. We've had quite the ride, you and me. Yeah. It's really been something. You know, for the longest time, I wasn't sure if I could really trust you. And well, I still end up falling for you. I don't really know why. Maybe because I thought you were funny, amazing, charming. Pfft, don't push your luck, Chloe. I really do regret starting all this drama, though. I liked you a lot. And I just didn't know how to approach you. I never meant to hurt you or anyone. I know you did, Natsuki. But what I'm trying to say is, most boys wouldn't have done what you've done for me. I know we've certainly had our ups and downs, and yeah, things could have gone better. But I really, really want to thank you for saving me back there. I'm not sure how any of us are going to get over Monica trying to kill us, but I think you set enough of an example for us to follow. So it's the least I could do, Natsuki. I know there's more to you than your looks and the tough act you've put up. I'm glad I've gotten to know the real Natsuki. More or less. I'm still not sure how I feel about all this being some sort of game. But that means I don't have to worry about my dad anymore. That's true. Still, you don't have anything like Monica's powers. What are you gonna do? I'll figure something out. But I'm not going back there again, that's for sure. Glad to hear it, Natsuki. Yeah. So I guess I'll see you around. Of course. This club wouldn't be as entertaining without you in it. That's for damn sure. Bye, Chloe. Natsuki smiles as she heads out into the hallway. Finally, Yuri is the last one to approach me. It's hard to believe that we're finally at the end of this saga. Yeah, I imagine everyone's feeling pretty relieved. I most certainly am. I know the others already said the same thing, but I really do want to thank everything you've done for us, especially for me. I wish our relationship could have gone differently. You will be my final route, Yuri. I'll admit, I wish we all could have had the club experience without the drama. and things could have gone better between us for sure. But you're a beautiful, gracious, and kind person, Yuri. You'll find someone worth your time. I believe in you. Thank you. Coming from you, it means a lot. I think we both learned a lot from this experience. Wouldn't you agree? For sure. I just hope going forward we'll be stronger as a club together. Yeah. So, what are you going to do about, I think it's finally time that I start confronting this problem rather than suppressing it. I'm not sure what the best way is, if everything is just a simulation now. The way I can simply just undo my problem with the click of a button. I can't say that I have the answer to that question, but I know you'll figure something out. I'll be right here if you need my help. I'd very much appreciate that, Chloe. I really owe you a lot, don't I? I just did what I thought was right back there. You and everyone else are so much more than some code. We'll have much to ponder about the supposed truth of our reality. But I must admit, this whole experience has inspired me to write my own story about this. It better be a bestseller. I haven't written a full novel before. I'm sure I can figure it out. But perhaps one challenge at a time, right? Yeah, I think we've earned some well-deserved rest. Sorry. And rest we shall. Farewell, Chloe. And thank you for everything. Yuri says sweetly as she heads out the door. I sink back in a chair as Yuri leaves the club room, taking in the newfound silence. It's finally over. All the tears, all the name-calling, all the temper tantrums. It's finally over. I glance at my watch and notice that it's far past the normal time I'd be heading back home. Well, even if this world doesn't realize, feel weird hanging around in here. I pick up my stuff and begin heading out the door, but not before taking one last look at the club room. This really is no ordinary literature club, but I don't think I'd have it any other way. I turn on my heel and head out the door to start the walk home. Hello? I take a seat down on my steps to my house and lay my backpack right next to me. Looking up at the sky, I can see a faint tint of orange forming in the vast blue sea that flies high above me. Even if it's not real, I always did enjoy it. It always did instill a sense of calm and peace whenever I was troubled, and after the day, those are two things I most surely need. Though going forward, for better or worse, things aren't going to be the same. Monica has a lot of work to earn before everyone's trust back, but I'll do what I can to ensure she fairly earns it. After all, who knows how much time Monica has really bought us? How are we going to cross over to this world to join the person I'm supposed to represent? Am I even real? No matter. Whatever challenges that await the literature club, I'll be right there with them to face it down. Because know one thing for sure, I care about them with all my heart. I know the player does too. Thank you, whoever you are. You'll always be welcome in the literature club. Don't thank Chloe. Don't thank her. She isn't good. It was nice, but I'm going to close out of here for now again. And go and finish my Sayori route. Finally! Sayori sees what? Sees you baking cookies, I think. Sees your cookies, I think. Sayori, of course. I want to be in a relationship with Sayori. Sayori, huh? She's a keeper, Chloe, even if she doesn't think so herself. Make sure you treat her right. I will. I have a lot of making up to do to her for this and everything over the last few years. Well, no time like the present to start making good on that promise. She also needs someone to show her the bright side of things when she's feeling down. She also needs someone to show her the bright side of things when she's feeling down. Yeah, she will. If anyone can do it, it's you. She'll definitely be happy that you want to stay with her. I have to say, I'm not surprised. You were loyal to her for the most part. No use in ending something good if both people are happy. She needs me, and I'm more than happy to be a part of her life. Well, hey, I hope things continue to go great for you two. She's a keeper, Chloe. Thank you, Monica. Well, this is where we depart. Everyone's going to want to get their final say before you go, so I won't delay them any longer. But I do want to say that I'm extremely grateful for all you've done here. Thus far, that's the same. To my surprise, I turn around to see it's Natsuki. Once she's the first to... You know, I can't say I am too surprised that you choose Sayori. I always did think you two went well together. Hope everything works out between you two. Thank you, Natsuki. I really appreciate it. Well, it's the least I could do. We've had quite the ride, you and me. Yeah, it's really been something. I do want to definitely make a little episode before the review because... yeah. Where I also just go around and experiment a little bit. You know, for the longest time, I'm still falling for you. I don't know why. Charming. Don't push your luck. A lot, and I just approach you. Okay. And hey, I hope you keep Sayori happy. You'll be hearing from me if you don't. Noted, Natsuki. Natsuki smiles as she heads out into the hallway. You're the next one to approach me. It's hard to believe that. I also believe you and Sayori deserve my congratulations on your relationship. That's sweet of you, Yuri. Thank you. It might happen that when I go the other routes, I'm going to go through this again because this is literally just because I've seen it right now and kind of certain what was said and what wasn't. She and I have always gotten along rather well. Must admit I could never match her energy level or enthusiasm, but she always was inspirational and kind to me. She did help me get out of my shell, just a little bit. She's been a fantastic vice president. I can't think anyone else better suited for the role. And I know you'll make her happy and continue to be the positive force in her life, Chloe. Thank you, Yuri. That's very thoughtful. I do admit... I hope everything goes well between you and Sayori. Yuri says sweetly as she heads out the door. Finally, Sayori is the last one to approach me. Though she doesn't seem overly excited or jovial, but rather a little anxious. Hey, Chloe. Sayori, how are you doing? Well, I'm not sure I really know the right words for any of that. You're not surprised about my decision, are you? Sorry, there was something I opened on the side because I can multitask totally very well. Just checked something. That'll be important. Which is that this was in fact created before the side stories. No, I'm just really happy. After everything, you still want to be with me? Of course I do. I love you, Sayori. Nothing's going to change my mind about you. I care about you, Sayori. I really do. And I think I've shown that in more ways than one recently. Yeah. I understand. I'm really glad we get to spend some time together. You just know how to make me happy, don't you? It's the best job in the world. I do want you to promise me one thing, okay? Yeah? What is it? Okay. There's one more thing. Yeah? Up there it was. Well, you ready to head out? You go on ahead. I'll meet you at my place later. Okay. Suna exchanged one last smile before she too heads out and disappears into the hallway. Sink back in the chair as Sayori leaves the club room, taking the aloof on silence. Another long moment of silence. I take a seat down my step. And I'm in the blue. Sayori the most. I care about the wolf of my heart. Sayori the most. She'll need us now more than ever to help her conquer her rain clouds and whatever else gets thrown her way. I know the player cares about her just as much as I do. I hope we can both care and watch over her together. Thank you, Eveyone. You must be welcome in the literature club. Hey, Chloe! You ready to go for a date? You know it. I take Sayori's hand as we walk off towards the city to enjoy our evening together. This is a different music, isn't it? Well, then I'll keep it in the background. Is this Morse code? Can I decode this? Ah! Need to look away again! Spoilers! So should I just start up with Sayori? But then I already have one of the other girls on my track because they already started there. I think I'm going to follow my original plan. That I'm going to take... How am I going to go with this? I'll figure it out. Yeah. Is there anything else I can say? Yeah, the world building at the end did make much sense. I feel like both Sayori's character could have been handled better, and Monika definitely could have been handled differently because she straight up fell out of character. Like, even with this entire last section, that doesn't change the fact that it doesn't make sense for her character at all. For her original intent, nor for her later intent. For the intent that she could have now to manage things. Especially if she has memories, or like, can look into what happened in the original game. But I feel like I sounded more aggressive than I wanted to at the end. I do feel like the ending was one of the weaker points. Simply because Monika's not great character accuracy shine through. Sayori's as well. Then they had it with making it just simply that they don't care too much about the world being a game. Even though we've seen Sayori clearly would. And so it would have some strain on them. Having this explanation that it's because they don't feel it like that. They just know it. They heard about it and seen the powers, but don't feel it. They don't feel the code. They don't hear music like it's some weird part of their universe. I feel like that would be a better explanation than you're around, because we're around Sayori for the normal ending and the quick ending too, and it still doesn't end up well. So that's clearly not the real thing. Not the real that's clearly not an accurate thing that would actually be helpful in these situations. So I feel like that's more of the world building again. I do think at the beginning I really enjoyed the mod. It's just that some of Monica's character writing always took me out a little bit. The consistent pressure on Sayori to do things that she wasn't comfortable with was shit, not just as in therapy, but also, you have to tell these people that were mean to you yesterday about your depression so that they become better people. The fuck? But I do think there was some sweet moments in like the romance part of it, like the little date, little conversations they had, and that she constantly did go back to her being depressed because the depression just doesn't fade. I feel like I was very aggressive there at the end. I don't know. I really think I'm just not in the greatest mood right now. But that's my fault for playing a mod while having had a rough day. Because I feel like I was too harsh. From what we've seen right now. I don't think it was... It's just that the endings of... The ending did make sense world-building wise to a certain extent. It kind of contradicted one another. And also... Yeah, Monica's character writing and Sayori kind of just doesn't match with any of the descriptions. I guess we could try to chuck it up to something similar with like Yuri. Yuri probably would not recommend murder for an Act 1 or Act 4. Act 2 Yuri? The one with the already more aggressive personality, which she showed to have at the end of the mod? I can see that, so we can maybe kind of apply it to Sayori too. I just don't know how it would make sense, since the way it went with her was to be more more depressed. Exactly. It's just that the ending sequence didn't make sense for Monica's character. Sayori felt out of character largely. Not largely. I feel like this ending worked perfectly fine, but for a few of the other endings. The negative ending when they kill Monica, there she felt out of character. Here she felt just a little bit out of character of how little the epiphany affected any of them, with no good reason given, such as they kind of heard it and they see powers, so they know it must be real, but they can't feel the full extent of what it's like to just be off screen, and immediately the moment you're off screen, being in a void as it was defined here, what it's like for Monica. And due to that, aren't fully aware. It's just like they heard it, they're aware of it now, and they can contemplate it that way. It's not like their entire world changed in what it looks like to them and what it feels like. And I also feel like you would have a stronger reaction, especially Sayori, to knowing that all of your memories and everything was changed, different. No, not changed, different, wasn't real. But yeah, I did enjoy at large the romantic portions. It's just really the entire pressuring that he always put on her with various things. We're trying to get help when she says she maybe isn't ready for that yet, or things like that, or especially like the other thing is you see it very frequently advocated. It happens, but what made anyone think that the good idea it would be a good idea to be like it's so romantic that he's pressuring her into talking about her depression in front of everyone. I'd be interested to see how the other routes are, that's for sure. I am interested to see how the romance is written for the other girls because I feel like that was mostly okay. Just these moments and the way that it's like, my rain clouds are gone, her rain clouds are a depression, and her depression isn't gone, it's just weaker. Or maybe she's distracted from it. It wouldn't immediately after 1 week already be so good that she's like, there are no rain clouds, and genuinely mean it. Yeah, but I am interested to see the other routes and how it's going to go there. If he's also going to be like, you had a fight yesterday? Anyway, now you gotta, Yuri, you gotta tell them about your cutting and things like that. It would be interesting to see how they are. And since I enjoyed the romance, I think the romance will be better again. And I can skip through portions of the the ending now so that I don't always have to focus on that doesn't make sense. Now you're putting it like Monica intended them to die. Now it just sounds like Monica intended it to be the self-harm and it wasn't just negative side effects, that the home life and the cutting, the home life most likely, to her actual coding that she took, which is still bad, but it's still a bit of a difference between I wanted you to cut yourself and I wanted you to be unlikable, so I made you possessive, and then you ended up cutting yourself more as a result, and I ended up just accepting that. Both are shit, but they do have a bit of a different context attached to them that I feel like does matter a lot. Yeah, I feel like the problem was that it was more Monica and self-awareness centered here, and that due to that the world building kind of also struggled. But I feel like the romance, the past few episodes were very good. I also have more time before the review to think over the ending. Maybe I'll calm down a little bit. Maybe I'll notice, maybe it does make sense for Sayori because the strain does not necessarily mean most likely that it's just like the strain the files have. That they become their amplified self of what Monica amplified, but just generally more aggressive and unstable. I can see that. So due to that, I'll probably be more level-headed when I give the review if I have the ability to think over the ending right now a little bit more. And when my foot feels better, I hopefully won't be too aggressive on it, because I felt like I kept talking about a lot of negative things. I don't have too many things to say positively wise, if I'm honest, about the ending. There wasn't anything that I completely enjoyed, outside of the last ending bit here, with all of them having their nice little messages, and them saying that it's still a meaningful world to them, and that it's clearly a meaningful world to us. I felt like that was a nice message, but in the in-between, from the point where Monica strangles, from the point where Monica attacks Sayori, and then to the point shortly beyond when we get teleported back to the club room. I guess from the point where Monica attacks Sayori to the point where Monica does her little thing where everything fades to black because she had a short moment of her administration. There was just multiple things out of character and I couldn't fully get into the scene, sadly. This is probably just a me thing with me being aggressive right now, though. Anyway, we'll see how the other routes go, and then I'll give a full-blown review. I already said a lot of things that I'm going to say there, but I will give at least a short little summary of all my thoughts. Thus far, romance was nice. I'm not sure how I feel about the mental health things yet. We'll have to see. At large, I felt like Sarah was good, but then there was this entire pressuring thing. And yeah, I'm definitely not fond of how Monica's character is. Sayori, I'm not fully sure on because I don't know how if her character was simply impacted there with the files breaking. And I feel like I'm not too happy with the world building right now. I'm not sure if that will change, but I'm not going to take that too much into it pulling points away from the final score. Yep, that's about it. I need to do it like this again. Fuck me.